is our project, C++ code automation, code evaluation automation, and it is made by me, Naman Agarwal, and Nimit Sajal. So it is basically made for the professors of CS and IS department who have to check the code from GitHub, C++ codes from GitHub, be it during the lab or the lab exams. So what this program does is basically students can save their GitHub links to their particular programs in an Excel sheet, and this will extract all the programs from the Excel sheet and basically run it and save the outputs. So what it does is it makes it makes it very easy for the teacher to evaluate all the programs and see who has submitted, whose program is working, whose program is not working. It also helps in building the record, so because it saves all the programs in a file by the student's name, and along with that it saves the output, so that can be used for record purposes later on. And it also reduces the teacher's time in evaluation. So basically here you can see this is a GitHub ID, and basically all the links that are there in this particular application in the Excel sheet are links of the raw of a particular program. So basically this link will be saved. Similarly, in this particular program, this link would be saved. Similarly, in this particular program, this link would be saved, right? So we have made this for a very basic program, and now Nimit will explain you further.
Okay, so this is our Excel sheet. So in this you can see as students submitted their GitHub links using Google Sheets, so a teacher can get the similar kind of sheet, and in this we have names of students along with the links for their GitHub files. This is the sheet 1, which is called input. We can go to the second sheet, which is called check. So here all the results will be saved, and the results can be of 4 types. So first it can be that student did not submit their link. Second can be they submitted, but there is some compilation error when compiling the code. Third can be the code was compiled, but the output was wrong. And then fourth is that the output itself is correct. So on the basis of these results, we are saving it in the second sheet. Okay, so in this folder, we are saving all the program codes, executable files, and also the screenshots of the outputs with reference to the name of the student, so that later when teachers need to make records or submit it to HOD or anywhere else for saving purposes, for future saving purposes, they can easily refer the codes using anyone's name.
So now we will be running the program and showing you the demonstration, and then we'll further explain what the program does and how it does it. So basically first it's going in the sheet and getting all the links, and then it's opening all those links in a web browser and copying them and downloading them into a CPP executable file. Then here we are writing a header file for that and compiling it for all the programs. As you can see, there is a compilation error, but we don't get that in this part of the code. We get it later on. So basically right now all the codes are compiled. Now what it does is it goes inside and basically uses Microsoft screen scraper to save the screenshot. As you can see, this code is not compiled. So this is the final code, and now it's compiled and the screenshot is saved, the text is analyzed, and all the results have been saved. So now Nimit will explain what all was stored and saved.
Oh, so sir, this is the same file that we showed before the execution of our program. So this was the links. When we go to the second sheet in the checked, we can see that the output of the execution is saved with reference to the name we can see that only three names are present because one did not submit their link. So you are getting incorrect output, one compilation error, and one correct output. So using this, teachers can easily evaluate students, and teacher don't need to go to each GitHub link, try to compile it manually, and then save the output. So this reduces a lot of work for teacher. And in this folder, as you can see, we have uh, three files with each name. So this is the screenshot of the output, the code itself, CPP code, and also the executable file. So in one of the cases, we did not get any screenshot because there was a compilation error in Naman's file. Yes, sir. So
sir,
now we'll go on.
yeah, so basically these are the executable files over here, and these are the codes to be analyzed. They can be used to analyze later on, and the teacher does not have to manually download each and every code to check and to save all the results and to further use it as a record purposes. Now we'll show you the code.
Yes, sir. The first thing we see is that there is an Excel application scope, and below it we have three for each loops. So we'll go into Excel application scope first. In this, we can see that there is a reference to the Excel file called as links, and then inside that we have a read range, which is reading the first sheet of the Excel file, which is called input, and then we are saving the data as links in a data table. Then we go on to the first for each loop. Here we are going through each link, and then we are checking if there is any link present or not. So if there is any link or the link itself is an empty string, if it is empty, then we do not need to go into the browser and check for the GitHub code. If there is a link present, then we open the browser, use the open browser activity. We go into the browser and then we open that particular link. When we open the link, we are using get visible text, and then so we are copying all the text and then saving it into a file. We are naming the file with the name of the student so that we can reference it later easily, and also we are saving it as a .cpp file so that it can easily be executed later. After all this is done, we are closing all the tabs, because as you can see as you can think in a practical scenario, there won't be just two or three links. There can be more than 100 links together. So we don't want about 100 tabs to be opened in our laptop. So we are closing everything at the end of execution.
So now in the second for loop, what we can see is that we are again opening those links, and we are again checking whether a link is present or not, because if there is no link present for a particular student's entry, then there won't be any code downloaded. So we don't need to open a file that is not even created, right? So that's why we are checking that, and if the link exists, that means we've surely downloaded the file. And then we go inside this, and here what we see is we go to that file which we saved by the name of the student and in .cpp .cpp extension, and we basically start the process. So it opens up dev C++, a compiler, preferred compiler for this particular system, and after opening dev C++, and a prompt comes and it selects yes on that. Then as you can see, we are saving the header file over here.
Yeah, so we have to save the header file because in everyone's code there can be a lot of differences. So to generalize everything, we suggested each student to submit their code without their header files. So if they all have submitted different header files, it would be very hard for us to automate things. So to generalize everything, we included just one header file which includes all the other headers inside it. So we are just including this to the first line of the code, and then since C++ does not care about indentation, but it cares about the header files to be only in one line. So we are using enter key there to separate it with other code, and then we are continuing and compiling the code.
So yeah, after that, what we are doing is we are building the code using the, clicking on this particular button. And after building the code, this does not wait to check whether the code is built successfully or if there's a compilation error. It just waits for the process to be finished, whatever might be the result, and then it closes the application, because as you heard earlier as well, that we don't want 100 different tabs to be opened, right? In the same way, we don't want 100 different tabs in our compiler as well. So it closes that application, and this is how it basically saves all the CPP files and all the executable files right now. After that, in the next step, we go on to run the file and take the screenshot and check whether the file was able to run properly or not. So for that, we go into this third for loop, right? And yeah, I'll just make it big. Yeah, so basically in this third for loop, what's happening is we go through each link, and if the link is not present, then we don't need to compile the file or run the file. We don't need any of that. All we need to do is go into the Excel and save an empty input in that. So basically in the else part, we are just opening the Excel and we are appending in the range we are appending an empty string over here in front of the name, so that it prints out that way, right? And if the link is present, then what we do is we go to the same location of the link, we open the process, we again click that button, the prompt that comes out, and then after that this is the button to run it. So we run the application. Now after running it, there's a chance that it might not run because it's not compiled, because there was a compilation error at that time in the previous block of the code. So what happens is we are trying to find, what we do is, if it compiles, then it opens another window, a command prompt window, where it shows all the output. So we are trying to find that command prompt window, but initially what was happening was it was waiting indefinitely for that command prompt window to be opened, because in the cases where the compilation did not go through, the command prompt window never opened up. So what we did was we used the element exists, and we waited for some time, and if till that time, it has a timeout time basically. So until then, if it's not finding that particular file, then what it does is it basically saves false into in this exists variable, and we are using the false or true active. We are checking for the condition whether it's true or false later on. If it's false, then we can be sure that there was a compilation error in there, and if it's true, then that means compilation was done properly. But the problem is whether the output is correct or not. So for our program, we've selected the output hello world. So basically, as you saw, we used just a second. Yeah. So yeah, as you saw, if the exist is true, we use the Microsoft OCR to we first click the screenshot, and then we use the Microsoft OCR to analyze the screenshot and get all the text. And after getting all the text, we closed all these windows, as you can see. And after getting those text, what we did was we searched whether the string hello world is contained in that text or not. If it's contained, then that means the output is correct. If it's not contained, then that means the output is incorrect. For our program, for our purposes, hello world is the correct output, right? So if the output is correct, then basically it saves the correct, it saves correct in the Excel, and if the output is wrong, then it saves the incorrect output in the Excel, and then finally it appends that range. So this is what our program is, and it is just a starting prototype to help teachers accommodate easily and help them in their checking process. And in future work, we can work on generalizing it for different kinds of application, for different kinds of outputs, for different languages, be it Java Python would be a difficult job to do, but Java could be done in the similar fashion. So in our program, we are using basic recording and we are using web recording. Nimit, anything else?
No, so this was our video for the demo. We'll submit all the zip files and instructions later, sir. So thank you.